All right. Audio, yes. Check. Okay. Let's do some Tai Chi. Let's start. Allow your feet to touch at the base. Bring your head top all the way up. Relax your shoulders. Relax your hips. And then breathing deep. Bring your hands together in the center. And then calibrate. Make sure the head top is all the way up there. Relax your brow. Open your vision. Open your vision. Connect the tongue to the upper palate and activate the corners of the mouth. Make sure that the chin is tucked, it's not pushing forward. Relax your jaw. Make the inside of your mouth relax so that you can accumulate saliva. Let your shoulders be rolled back, relaxed, and feel as if they can expand sideways. The chest is hollow. Leave a little space in your armpits and a little space in your elbows. Use the center, your core, abdominal muscles, and all of the structure in the center here to support. And then allow your back to open and relax, both horizontally and vertically. Feel the tailbone sinking with gravity. So your back is fully extended. Pull the head top up, sink the tailbone down, the insides of the hips relaxed, sinking, knees lightly bent. Pull your heel in, use the outside edge of your foot to also pull in. Use your toes to connect to the ground, and then open the bottom of your foot, connecting up this way. Now keep the same structure, but allow your entire body to relax. So we don't have to have tension. We can keep the same posture, relaxed. Let's do a little bit of breathing to start. And we're going to do a very basic exercise. If you keep your feet shoulder width wide, and we're just going to turn. So keep your spine while you keep working as if you're just sitting on the edge of a bench or a seat. Keep your spine straight and just turning 180. This other hand down here, you can go like, keep it palm up, or you can press palm down. And you can make your breathing match the movement, but you don't have to, because we're going to experiment with this particular Qigong. So while you're practicing this exercise, feel the space that's inside between your hand and your chest. When you turn, you make the circle. And feel like this outer edge of the arm when you turn has enough structure to, if there was a door and it's not latched, there's enough, just enough power to press through. So there's a rounded, expansive shape. And we want that to go through both arms while we're practicing. But the yang arm, imagine there's a heavy curtain, and you want to keep your arm so relaxed, just using just enough to open the curtain. So there's a round structure. And the outside of that round structure helps you become aware of the inside hollowness of this shape here while you're turning. So one exercise, imagine you have in this hand, the lower hand, something valuable. You have a bag of something that's soft, bag of groceries, something like this, and you need to open this way. So there's something filling the space here, and then we have a yang outside surface this way. So breathe and see, check to see your spinal alignment. Is it perfectly vertical? Can you recalibrate? Are your hips perfectly aligned? So we just got done talking about the structure. Now let's talk about something else. Try to keep all of the parts moving all of the time, arriving simultaneously, whether you want to call it from the sides, from the center, if you want to think of this as your arms, drawing a type of figure 8 or Tai Chi symbol. So don't just rest the elbows and turn, change, turn, change, turn, right? We want to have this all completely fluid. So this is a way to work on your Tai Chi synchronization. And so here we're just starting with our spine, our arms, and then the forearms, they're sort of turning. Our spine is turning. We want kind of minimal movement in the shoulders. But we talked about the structure. We talked about the timing. And, sorry, let's actually just keep practicing that one. And this exercise in the Mandarin is called Chan Si Jing, silk reeling exercise. And the concept is that we want to be able to keep that powerful structure that we had talked about, that expanded outer shell feeling. 100% of the time. It's not just at the arm when I'm pressing this way. It's the whole time. At every point, I want to have that expansion. It's the same feeling we want when we practice Tai Chi. Can you push the head top up there more while staying relaxed? So silk reeling exercise, why it's called this is when you harvest the product from a silkworm, from their spinnerets, you have to sort of pull with a certain type of, it's very small, very delicate. You have to keep enough sort of torque in the pull to keep the filament connected without breaking it. And because we don't have silkworms laying around in our culture, it's not part of our culture, we can think of fishing, or we can think of kite. If you're fishing and you catch something, you have to pull with enough tension to bring it in, but without breaking it. So there's actually text in the Tai Chi classics that talk about silk reeling and the feeling of having the chi moving through all of the joints to keep that expanded power while relaxed. Just like a kite, if there's heavy wind, if you go to turn the thing too quickly, if you slow down, maybe it stops, and maybe if you slow down because of the wind, creates a different dynamic. So here, we're constantly from the center. The Tai Chi symbol, the yin and yang, is represented as the circle with the S shape dividing the two halves and the two dots on either side, is a primitive person's representation of Tai Chi. It's what could be etched on the side of a rock. But the Tai Chi, the Taijutsu, the Tai Chi symbol, has been analyzed in the modern day to be far more complex. But we can use that simple symbol. One side is expanded and expanding, the other side is following. Yin and yang. At some point, come back to the center, allow your feet to touch. Return to Tai Chi harmony. We'll stretch a little bit, but something I wanted to talk about is moving principles in Tai Chi. I actually haven't talked about this in an online class in a while. Is something we have is called the Liuhe, which is 6 harmonies. So when we're practicing Tai Chi, we should have the hand and foot, the knee and the elbow, and the hip and the shoulder. These are called the 6 harmonies. So if we're doing a movement, this is all working, and sometimes that's across body. Like when we said in the second section, we have these two working together, right? 6 harmonies, they're harmonious. The hand and foot, elbow and knee, hip and shoulder working as one side. And then it changes cross body. This hand, foot, shoulder going at the same time, and then it reverses again, this stuff. So when we practice silk reeling, and you have this good feeling of structure that's expanded but relaxed, you can carry that into your Tai Chi practice. And then that principle can be expanded. How do I time? What's the coordination between things? The body, hand and foot, knee and elbow, hip, shoulder, working at the same time. Let's continue. Let's recalibrate. Allow your feet to touch shoulders. And then from this center posture, take a deep breath. The same thing, connect the tongue to the upper palate. While we're breathing, we're lifting the base of the torso. And then just with this posture, turning, grip your feet, relax your knees, they should be bent, and turning, the top will turn more than the bottom. So use your breathing, exhaling back to the center, inhaling to turn. Grip your feet. You shouldn't feel anything in your knees. If you do, start to back off the rotation around the hips. Turn your spine, and then turn your eyes inside to see further. You can coordinate this with the breathing, but you don't have to. We're using this as a total body stretch to try to get everything open at once so that we can focus on Tai Chi. Relax your shoulders. See if you can turn just a little bit further every time. Make sure you're using the waist. Come back to the center, take a deep breath, relax. Next, same idea, turning around the center. Breathe deep, stretch your spine, and really send your arms, your hands, your fingers on vacation. Allow them to relax. Like if you ever fall asleep on your arm and you can't, it doesn't work, and see, you have to do something like this. That's the same feeling that we're looking for. And then add a turn. Pat yourself on the back. Congratulations, you made it to Saturday. If you're watching this class on Saturday. Same thing, really let your arms relax. Come back to the center. Make your feet, you can make them shoulder width wide or wider. And turning. So this is your stretch. Remember to breathe, and if there's a section that feels good where you can stretch there more, please do. If you haven't changed directions, change directions. Come back to the center. We're gonna fold in half. So you can do this either way. If you're concerned with your balance, you can use a wall. If you feel like you have good balance, you can practice a little different type of stretch. Grip your feet, push your tailbone back and away. Relax your head top, relax your shoulders, your arms. Keep your feet gripped. Push your tailbone up towards the ceiling and relax your neck. Really let your head top point towards the ground. Remember to breathe. And when you're ready, grip your feet. Lock the base of the torso, breathing, inflating all the way up. So feel rooted to the ground, but expanding up, and then relax. We'll do one more of those. Grip your feet, push your tailbone back and away, relax your spine, neck, shoulders, arms, head. Let everything actually hang with gravity. Try to fold your body more by pointing your tailbone more vertically. Long, deep breathing. See if you can relax your back and neck to feel the energy moving. And then when you're ready, grip, anchor yourself to the ground, root yourself to the ground, breathing, inflating. Keep breathing, inhale, inhale, and relax. We'll do two more exercises. Shoulder width wide, shoulder width deep. Really fold, really cut the inside of the hip here. And then on this one, you can do one of two things with your neck. You can either trying to look while your back is tilting down, you're trying to look up, or you can point your head top forward. Either way, this is your stretch. So breathe. When you're ready, push forward. By the way, if you feel tension, if you feel tight, don't feel the need to fix it in one day. Stretching like this can take days, weeks, months. For people with some type of injury can take years to recover. So shoulder width wide, shoulder width deep. Grip your feet, really cut the inside of the hip here. You can use this for balance if you can use wall, furniture. Same thing with the head and neck. Remember to breathe. And if you're keeping your chin, the same thing with the eyes. Use the eyes to increase, so look all the way up to the tops of the sockets. Fold your body more, breathe more, grip the ground, push forward. Take a deep breath. Let's do that one more on each side. It's especially important to breathe. How can you relax if you can't take a deep breath? And you see, when you relax, you can stretch just that little bit more. So let's change. Shoulder width wide, shoulder width deep. Really fold the inside of the hip. Straighten the spine. Fold the spine. Breathe deep and relax. Or is it relax and breathe deep? What comes first, the chicken or the egg? Pull that toe further vertical. When you're ready, push forward. Take a deep breath. Okay, the end of last class, we had a question about the difference between Dibu Hua and Jinbu Zaishui. And last week we covered Dibu Hua. So this week, let's at least start looking at Jinbu Zaishui. And before we continue, anyone have thoughts, questions, comments, something that you're working on? Okay, so we're going to do the first and second section up to Jinbu Zaishui. Wait, yeah, let's look at the difference between those two. Let's do Tai Chi to start. Allow your feet to touch, pull your head top up, relax your shoulders, relax your hips. Breathing deep, bring your hands together in the center. And the same round shape that you felt earlier practicing this exercise, feel that even while you're standing in Tai Chi harmony. So feel the outside edges of your arm are round and expanded, and the inside are hollow. Commencement, shoulder width wide, looking all the way to the horizon. And then the same, as your hands expand, feel the hollowness in your chest and the expanded shape on the outside of your arms. Carry that into the movement. Right grasp the sparrow's tail. Square step forward, ward off. Breathing deep. Left, grasp the sparrow's tail. Square step forward. Ward off. Roll back. Join the palms, press north 90 degrees to the center. Separate the palms. Continuing the energy, push, shift back, look left, glance right, double push, horizontal, split hands goes from one corner of your square to the other corner of your square, continuous energy to hook. Single whip. turning back to the north. Split, brush, rolling up, rolling down, turning 90 degrees. This is crane, opening the wings. Play the harp, brush knee press. Left foot square step back. We're repeating crane, opening the wings, play the harp, brush knee, press, brush knee, C-step, press, brush knee, C-step, press to the center. Holding the moon in the chest. Ban Lan Shui. Corner. Parry. Punch. Ban Lan Shui number 2. Corner. Parry. Punch. Ban Lan Shui number 3. 45. Expanding in all directions, returning directly to the center. Breathe deep. Relaxed, expanded, rounded shape. Roof en Sali. Embrace tiger, return to mountain. We're continuing to the second section. Left hand, right foot, other hand, other foot. Everything moving in harmony. Press. Push. Look left. Glance right. Double press. Split. Hook. Turn back to look at the moon. Repulse the monkey. Repulse the monkey number 2. Repulse the monkey number 3. Press to the center, opening to the side. Shoulder bump, diagonal flying, needle at the bottom of the sea, san tombe, block, punch, kick, square step, lan, shui. Keep your head top upright, di bu hua, shen hu li, change step, take a deep breath to roll back. Press. Push. Look left. Glance right. Double press. Split. Hook. Side whip. Cloud hands right and left, right, left, cloud hands 3, right, left, hook, corner whip. Turning my square facing west, Gao Tenma. Gao Tenma number 2, facing south, turn to east, scoop, brush, press. Brush knee, C-step, press, brush knee, straight step, punch. Let's continue. Turning, block, punch, kick, square step, block, shui, zhou hua, left, deflect, da li, big rollback, brace tiger. Embrace the tiger, scoop the moon from the ocean. Two winds blowing in the ears. This is pull left, kick left, turning. 1, 2, 3, pull right, kick right, almost there, block, punch, kick, square step, long, shui, rufeng, breathe deep, return tiger to mountain, block, punch right, punch left, bring the left side back to the right. Okay, before I continue again, thoughts, questions, comments. All right, so the difference between dibuhua and straight step punch, they're different postures. So in the second section, what we just got done doing was, after we have, a few weeks ago we talked about pat the high horse, right, this one. So this turning, after here, we turn to the south, and then this one, I'm turning back to the east, and I have scoop brush, and then I have brush knee, C-step press, straight step punch. Jinbu Zaishui is straight step punch. So, but another way to think about this was, in one of the versions of the classics, you can find a copy of Yang Qingfu's form, right, which was, he was also Yang lineage. And you can see his version of this, right, is, and he refers to it as punch to groin. So our form doesn't specify where it's going, but because you could punch to the dantian, right? You could be punching to a number of places. But in Yang Qingfu's, he calls it punch to groin. The difference between the two is brush knee, C-step is, there's a more complex step. If I have somebody in front of me and I like to go into their gate or past their gate, and they have a weapon, reaching, kicking, something, I want to move that out of the way and then use this foot to sort of hit inside of where they're standing. That's what the C-step. In the Mandarin, this movement, let's actually practice while we do it, is if we just go back and forth, is we have a brush and a press, and then hand and foot working, the whole arm, the whole body working at the same time. Brush knee. This C-step, I'll see if I can make the carpet. C-step, press. Brush knee, C-step, press. Brush knee. What's the purpose of the C-step? There's something there. I have to get around it. In the Mandarin, the name for this is called Aobu, which translates to twist step or even screw step, right? So like a spiral that starts very big and then starts to shrink down as it coils into the ground, right? So we're using the C-step to move through the opponent's gate to get into their structure. Press, press, C-step, twist step. In the Mandarin, Aobu, twist step or screw step, right? Indicating the circle. Jinbu Zai Shui is different. Brush knee, straight step, punch. We're moving forward. Again, in the Tai Chi form, because we're practicing, we align our square this way, right? So I have my square here, right? And I face this way, doing the Tai Chi form. But when I face my opponent, I change my square to be this way, right here, so that I'm not standing like this. It's exposed. So Jinbu Zai Shui is brush, but instead of trying to, my camera has a tripod. If you can imagine a tripod, you want to step one foot in behind the one in the front so that you can kind of knock it over much easier, right? This is the C step. In straight step, if your opponent is either open or closed in the right way, when you brush, you don't need to get into their structure, and you don't need to, one of the reasons we do that is to protect our center, right? So as we're here, right, this is all covered, and then we can move into that space to push. So there's also something else in the Tai Chi, because the form is very long and complex. There are ideas that are embedded within multiple movements. So in the first section when we practice, we have this type of, after we have crane, we have Soe Pipa, brush knee, press, brush knee, C-step, press, brush knee, C-step, press. Let's do that twice, just starting from the end of the second crane, and see that there's a feeling, a rhythm, right? So if we do second crane from the first section, when you play the harp, when you Soe Pipa, turn your waist. Don't just turn your forearms like this. Use your whole body, looking forward. Press to the center. Brush knee, C-step, press. Brush knee, C-step, press. At least one more time. So from crane, brush. Oh, sorry. Play the Pipa, brush and press, brush, C-step, press, brush, C-step, press. Let's do that one more time. From crane, Soe Pipa, brush knee, press. Brush knee, C-step, press, brush knee, C-step, press. Keep going. Brush knee, C-step, press, brush knee, C-step, press. That's, by the way, an exercise I don't usually do in an online venue. I feel like time is limited, so my teacher would often make people do grasp the sparrow's tail, ward off, 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 grasp the sparrow's tail. You can practice with me. Ward off, grasp the sparrow's tail, ward off, right? Just up the whole way up the, we were at the park the one side of the park, go up to that and come back, doing grass to sparrow's tail and row. You can practice that if you like. It's repetition is, we could, actually it's a good time to talk about it. Let's do some silk reeling. See if you can return back to the feeling you had when we were practicing earlier. So take a deep breath, forget about learning complex Tai Chi movements, and return to the powerful structure. Keep the head top up there. And feel like the egg that has the hard outside surface, but on the inside is expanded and soft. Balloon. And so repetition in the Chinese martial arts is considered a good thing. If you train like Western style workout weightlifting, right? You can't work the same muscles again very quickly because they will get something that they refer to as muscle memory. And the muscle, if you're trying to do some bodybuilding or something, will not become as strong or not produce the same type of result. With Tai Chi in the Chinese martial arts, we're trying to take the muscles offline. We're using tendons, and the muscle memory, if in fact it's not embedded in the actual muscle itself, but it's the idea of the repetition of the movement causes you every time something happens over here to end up as such. That's a muscle memory. And for the Chinese martial arts, that's a good thing, especially with Tai Chi. Because remember, we always have the avoid, then we have the make contact, and then from there we see where our position is to advance. And so we want muscle memory. We don't want to have to think about what's happening with our rollback or our press. That should be kind of natural. Then we can move on to improving our structure. Then we can move on to getting our root, and then we can move on to feel the qi move and use it to our purpose. Change the qi to jing, to the outside energy. Qi is inside the body. Chan si jing. Jing is a power that's expressed. So with this, for the jing, keep your structure. And then imagine you have people or cats, dogs, trying to hold on to your arm. Children, right? Hanging off of your arm. Adults gripping. And while you're turning, you have enough power between turning your waist and turning your elbows that no matter how they're turning on, how they're holding on, you can turn freely. You can maintain your structure and still be relaxed, breathing deep.進步栽捶. Is that more clear? I know who asked. Yeah? You can ask question if you
Yes, that was very helpful, Brian. So in the straight step being different, you still brush the knee. So we're brushing away a weapon, but instead of twist stepping behind the person, is it almost more of a falling? Like our leg is just going directly forward at the same time that the punch is landing? It okay.
Yeah. So actually, that's
Great.
that's all of the what Aaron is talking about, and this is maybe a little bit more advanced, but we should talk about it. So we talk about our square step, and I'll use a piece of acoustic tiling here because it's a square. So if I put one foot in each corner, right, like this, when we're doing the brush knee. By the way, when we say brush knee, whose knee are you brushing? Are you brushing the opponent's knee or past your knee, right? It depends on what's happening with the attack. The C step, also square press, brush, square. So that square shape, when I'm doing my straight step punch, is moving forward. So all of our punches in Tai Chi, even in the first section, when we have Lan, Shui, you see my rear foot follows. This is, if you imagine this square is connected, the whole thing is moving. So for straight step punch, but my feet are staying on the ground, right? And one more than the other, if that makes sense. This gets into advanced, this is sometimes called follow step, sometimes called inch step, because if your one foot takes an inch, the other foot also takes an inch, right? So moving your square with you, right? This is a little bit more advanced. And when we're generally practicing Tai Chi, we're not taking those kind of steps. That's more into the advanced martial arts application. We can survive without it. But carry your square or move your square with you is something. We start to see it there when we do embrace the tiger. You see my rear foot. I have a big rollback. And then I'm going to launch off of my rear foot, take my front foot becomes the front of the square, and my rear foot, I leave it lag so that you can see, right, the movement of it. So this is what happens to the square in movement, right? And this, by the way, if any of this seems confusing, let's go back to what we had started. So in the beginning of class, we started with this basic exercise. So see if you can return to the feeling again. Grip your feet, relax your tailbone, stretch your spine out, connect the tongue to the upper palate, and make your breathing natural. And then feel the shape. I had mentioned a different exercise, as if something is holding on to your arms, connected to your arms, and it doesn't matter. You can still continue to move. So structurally, feel from your one foot to the other arm. Feel the head top. Going up there strengthens the whole system, strengthens the whole body just by being pushed up there. And then let everything relax, but keep the same powerful shape. And again, the same. We can make these small, or we can make them really large. The same thing with your Tai Chi. You can grasp the sparrow's tail here and ward off something. Questions, thoughts, comments, ideas? I think we have about 10 minutes. So let's do the second section. Let's do the second section from cloud hands to the end, and we'll call that maybe do a little bit of breathing to cool down. So unless anybody has questions, thoughts, comments. I'm going to start over here to the left because I'm going to do some cloud hands going that way. So allow your feet to touch. We're going to start in Tai Chi harmony. So calibrate again. This is the purpose of practice. We can become faster at calibrating. The head top is up there. The face is relaxed. The vision is fixed past the horizon. The vision sees all the way past the edge of the earth. Open your nostrils and your sinuses. Connect the tongue to the upper palate. The teeth are just resting on top of each other in the natural position. Relax your jaw. Feel that your mouth can generate saliva. Ears are over the shoulders, shoulders roll back and relax. Chest is hollow, armpits hollow, elbows hollow. Sink your tailbone. Use your center to support. Grip the ground and open the bottom of your feet to allow the energy to come up into the center. We have a commencement. And then from this posture, cloud hands right and left, press right, left, right, left, hook, corner whip, Galtanma, pat the tall horse, Galtanma, number 2, turn, scoop, brush, press, brush knee, C-step, press, brush knee, Jinbu Zai Shui. Next, rock step, turning block punch kick, square step, lan, just like the end of the first section, shui. Zhou hua is left deflect, grip the ground, kick, big rollback, da li, 2, embrace a tiger, big rollback, da li, embrace the tiger, left foot steps behind the right, scoop the moon from the ocean, kick, square step, 2 wings in the ear, stepping back, pull left, kick left, turning, 1, 2, 3 steps, pull right, kick right, breathe deep, block, punch, kick, lan, shui, stay round, rufeng, press, press, turning back to the north, embrace tiger, return to mountain, block, gravity, punch, punch, return back to the center. All right, that's it. Says we have just a few minutes. Questions, thoughts, comments? I see someone leaning in, but it looks like mute. All right, let's do a little bit of Qigong to close. So, inhaling and exhaling. So by the way, we can practice our Liuha, the 6 harmonies here. Turn your hands at the same speed that you turn your waist and that you raise your shoulders, so that everything is moving at one speed and at one time. It doesn't have to be, you can split it in half, but everything arrives or resolves harmoniously. The hands arrive at the top and they arrive at the bottom at the same time. So make your turning. Breathe deep. See if you can keep the expanded shape while relaxed. And then put something in your mind. Change directions, going the other way if you haven't already. By the way, we will run out of time to balance this out, so if you'd like to feel that you have equal number of turning in each direction, you have to do that on your own. Bring your feet together, bring your hands together in the center. Move your mind into the Dantian. Smile to yourself, have gratitude to yourself. One long, last deep breath. And that's it. Call, text. right?
Thanks, Brian. Are we doing another class after this, or is this it for
No,
today?
actually, this is a good time to address it. There's actually, it looks like there's still like 3 or 4 minutes left on the clock. What my purpose, the goal for that class was to get everything in the first section up to hook and whip, right? We didn't do commencement. I did a little bit on Tai Chi Harmony because Tai Chi Harmony does have a martial arts application. If somebody's grabbing, we can go from here. And then grasp sparrow's tail, we covered. What's happening, punching, catch, ward off, right? What's happening with that one? Roll back, press, push, look left, glance right, double press, split, hook, whip. And so the reason that I wanted to do the application for it is there are people actually practicing this form, learning entirely from home through YouTube. So they will need, those videos will need to be organized in a way to make sense for them. But for people practicing at home, they can at least get the chorus, the main thing, because those postures repeat. Like we had, shown something earlier. We're doing something, and then hook, corner whip, right? It's turning back into those 8 times throughout the form. So those 8 to 10 postures, depending on how you like to split them up, are the essentials. And I wanted to make sure that people have an understanding of at least the movements for those, right? They are all online for YouTube. And I have another one scheduled with Thomas, but I'm waiting to figure out either, like, do I make a list of postures that are the most challenging to teach without another person? Brush knee C-step is pretty straightforward. You can imagine another person, right? But the lotus kick, when I'm here turning, this kind of stuff, you need a person because you have to see there's some stuff happening there. So is that more clear? Like, yeah, in fact, if what I've been thinking about, and we have Thomas on retainer for a floating class when we know what it is that we want to do, and maybe I just do a review of all 8 in one class, like just walk through as if I'm doing the form. He's here. All right, punch. Okay, grasp with sparrow's tail, ward off. Okay, punch with your other hand, ward off. Okay, reach in, roll back. Now he's here. Press. Some way to link them, because you can connect all those things or disconnect them. So yeah, and we may do more in the future. So we'll do at least one more application class, but I think it will be like a combination. We'll pick all the custom movements from the second section or something like that. Some way to make it worthwhile, contain it. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool. All right, I think that's it.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next time.